Good evening. Welcome to Word Now at 4. I am Wisdom Onisi. First, the headlines. Nigeria launches data management course for civil servants. Donald Trump found guilty in hush money trial. At least 24 dead in eastern India as temperatures soars. And on sport, FIFA updates maternity protocols for players and coaches. Now the news in details. The federal government has launched a responsible data management course, a free online course resource targeted at equipping public servants with the fundamentals of ethical data management. Launched by the Nigerian Data Protection Commission in collaboration with data.org, the course bridges the theoretical aspect of the Nigerian Data Protection Act 2023. We go on a short break.
This is HillsTV. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
HillsTV Poker.
This is HillsTV. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we begin.
Welcome back. Now the news in details. The federal government has launched a responsible data management course, a free online course resource targeted at equipping public servants with the fundamentals of ethical data management. Launched by the Nigerian Data Protection Commission in collaboration with data.org, the course bridges the theoretical aspect of the Nigerian Data Protection Act 2023 with practical knowledge of data rights and responsibilities, helping public servants navigate data management complexities and mitigate vulnerabilities in public service, NDPC said in a statement yesterday. The responsible data management course is designed for heads of IT, Chief Information Security Officer CSOs, Data Protection Officer, IT and cybersecurity personnel, and officers in roles that deals with data processing and privacy within federal and state MDAs. The federal government is to pay another 7.13 billion naira compensation to those whose properties were demolished for the construction of Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. Minister of Works David Umahi disclosed this to journalists in an interview in Abakaliki, the Ebonyi state capital. He noted that 2.7 billion naira had been paid as compensation for the demolition of structures of the coastal highway before the approval of another 7.13 billion naira by the federal government. Umahi opined that demolition of shanties and other structures on the highway were still ongoing. The Supreme Court on Thursday gave the 36 state governors of the Federation 7 days to file their defense to the suit brought against them by the federal government through the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi. The Apex Court held that filing of all processes and exchanging of same must be completed within 9 days. It therefore adjourned till June 13 for the hearing of the suit. In the suit, the federal government wants the apex court to enforce the autonomy of the local government by, among other things, stopping state governors from appointing caretakers committees to administer local government in their states. The federal government wants the Supreme Court to rule that any local government manned by caretaker committee instead of an elected local government chairman and councillors should have their funds from the federation account withheld. When we return, news from other parts of Africa. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of Africa. Senegal new President Bassirou Diomaye Faye has had talks with Mali's leader Assimi Goïta in the Malian capital Bamako Thursday. Earlier this year, Goïta, who took power in a coup, announced Mali's withdrawal from ECOWAS. Faye, who was in Bamako to discuss cooperation between Mali and Senegal and to talk about Mali's membership of ECOWAS, Economic Committee of West African States, stated that he understands Mali's position, which, although rigid, is not totally flexible. The visit to Mali is the first leg of a journey that will take Faye to Burkina Faso, another Sahelian country which, like Mali, faces the threat of armed terrorist groups linked to Al-Qaeda and is ruled by another military junta following a coup d'etat. The United States on Thursday, May 30th, imposed sanctions on Uganda's parliamentary speaker, her husband, and several other officials over corruption and serious abuses of human rights. Parliament Speaker Nital Among was sanctioned due to involvement in significant corruption tied to her leadership of Uganda's National Assembly. The U.S. State Department said Peter Ewelu, a former deputy chief of Uganda's military, was sanctioned over extrajudicial killings committed by government troops. 3 former government ministers recently implicated in the theft of roofing sheets that were not distributed to members of an improvised community were also sanctioned. We move to other parts of the world. After this break, please stay with us. Welcome back. Now, news from other parts of the world. Donald Trump has slammed the verdict which found him guilty of all 34 felony counts against him on Thursday. Speaking to reporters at the courthouse, the former U.S. president said the trial had been rigged. The jury in Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial found the former president guilty of all 34 felony counts against him. They delivered their verdict late Thursday afternoon after 2 days of deliberation that spanned 7, 9, and 1 to 2 hours. Prosecutors accused Trump of falsifying internal business records to cover up hush money payments tied to an alleged scheme to bury stories that might torpedo his 2016 White House bid. Meanwhile, supporters of Donald Trump, enraged by his conviction, We go on a short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Israeli forces have ended combat operations in the Jabalia area of North Gaza after destroying more than 10 kilometers of tunnel during days of intense fighting that included over 200 airstrikes, the military said on Friday, that is today. At the south end of Gaza, Israeli forces pressing an offensive into Rafah found rocket launchers and other weapons as well as tunnel shifts built by Hamas in the city center, the army said. Tank-led Israeli troops aim to break up Hamas fighting formation in the city on the border with Egypt. In an update on more than 2 weeks of intense fighting in Jabalia, the Israeli military said troops had completed the operation and withdrawn to prepare for another operation in Gaza. We have known that Ukrainian President Zelensky is expected to attend the Shangri-La Dialogue Security Conference in Singapore this weekend. 6 sources said, as Ukraine faces a renewed assault 2 years after Russian forces invaded. Security assistance for Ukraine is expected to be one of the key issues discussed at this year's dialogue. Asia's Prime Security Conference, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and the Chinese Defense Minister Deng Jun are among those attending. 2 of the sources said Zelensky would address delegates at the Shangri-La Dialogue on Saturday. All of these sources declined to be identified because of the sensitivity of the matter. Up next is business. Please stay with us. Welcome back now to business news. The World Bank has approved a $250 million International Development Association MDA credit for a 5-year Ghana financial stability project. The project will support Ghana's financial sector strengthening strategy by contributing to financial stability through the recapitalization of viable banks and specialized deposit-taking institutions impacted by Ghana's domestic debt exchange program. The financial system is critical to the functioning of the Ghanaian economy, providing critical services to households, firms, government, and supporting economic growth. To address the severe impact of the DDEP on financial institutions, the government established the Ghana Financial Sector Stability Fund to provide solvency support to banks, pensions funds, insurance companies, funds managers, and collective investment schemes. We have you know that global shares ticked higher after U.S. inflation data showed no worrying signs of fresh upward momentum last month, as expected, though investors were still in the dark about when the Federal Reserve would start cutting interest rates. U.S. stock index futures reserved earlier losses and edged higher ahead of the opening shell on Wall Street. The U.S. Commerce Department said the personal consumption expenditure price index, widely seen as the Federal's favored inflation indicator, increased 0.3% last month, unchanged. Still to come is sport. Please stay with us.
This is HillsTV. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Welcome back now to sport news. FIFA has made changes to further protect female footballers and coaches during and after pregnancy, as well as in non-biological motherhood. It includes the addition of a minimum of 14 weeks paid maternity leave for coaches, having previously been in place for just players. Players and coaches will be granted a period of leave that range dependent on their child's age, while family leave is available for parents who are not biological mothers. There are changes to players' registration, allowing clubs to sign players outside of a transfer window if a squad member has taken maternity, adoption, or family leave. Players will also be entitled to request absence from. We go on a short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. We apologize for that technical issue. Now we'll bring you the rest of the news. At least 24 people died of suspected heart stroke in India's eastern state of Bihar and Odisha on Thursday, and the heart wave in the region is expected to continued until Saturday, authorities said. India has been experiencing a... We go on a short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Please, we apologize for this break. That's all we can take for now because of the technical breakdown. Please follow us on our social medias at HillsTV at www.facebook.com, HillsTV at Abuja, Instagram at HillsTV Abuja, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at HillsTV. I am Wisdom Onisi. Thanks for joining us.